Hey everybody, it's the Mad Mats here. I'm doing another video today, and this video is about this really strange, insidious trend that has happened the last few years. And I'm reading this in the media, the mainstream liberal media establishment. And this trend is not only calling things right wing, but calling like preferences that are perceived as normal as far as sexual preferences right wing. And it's really stupid and ludicrous to even go into this kind of like territory where you're calling people's inclinations of liking a certain archetype or a certain type of woman as exemplifying your political affiliation. So recently there's this article out from a couple weeks ago from Newsweek, how the conservative hot girl has become a trend. And there's no proof that either of these people are right wing, by the way, that being Sydney Sweeney or Haley Welch. Now, I have talked about how I see the Haley Welch phenomenon, the Huck-to, whatever. It's like Kamala versus Kamala, trend was kind of like the death knell of this cultural zeitgeist that we've lived with since about like 2014, 2013. And that is like this shaming of I'm not going to call it normal, but like this hetero, cis, I'm not going to say white because I don't like to say that because like even if she was a straight cis woman of color, she would probably maybe it's being politically correct and woke. Okay, yeah, we could accept that, but still, it's like this whole trope or this whole like personification was dead for so long. And I said it gave me hope, and I'm not saying that you have to eliminate all the other stuff, like as far as all the other ideas from being progressive and stuff by liking this. I don't think that's necessarily the truth, but I think it does like return to this normalcy that we had back before late 2013, early 2014, which is really the time that things started to get crazy in our country. If you read The Coddling of the American Mind, if you follow the Gamergate thing, all this stuff, it's like really when the cultural zeitgeist hit this really weird moment in our culture and society. And that led to Donald Trump and certain types of things. So that's why we're living with this weird division that we are now. So, but nevertheless, there's these remnants of this terrible, stupid ideology that will shame you for having preferences or shame you for liking certain things. And I realize that they're both white, cis straight women, Sydney Sweeney and Haley Welch. But I also think that when you're talking about like the hot woman, the idealized notion of like what a hot woman looks like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be those like those two, but that the fact that they're actually incorporated in there, and this is like a new thing, really does signify to me that we can have this type of thing be a reality again. What's wrong with liking certain women? I like old school Susan Sarandon's hot redhead. I used to watch Rocky Horror or watch some of the movies from the 80s, or 70s, or liking, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but I used to like Kate Winslet. Now I like Winona Ryder, from back in the day, or Jamie Gertz or something. I mean, I don't really understand why it's wrong to like certain looks or certain aesthetics. I don't understand why this is bad or problematic. Now, at the same time, I understand what the article's trying to say. I understand what these people are trying to say, but really, if you want to really read between the lines, the fact that any of this stuff exists in the first place is a threat to a lot of these people, because I think sometimes they're honestly, like, I've seen this with people in real life. They're jealous because they don't have, what it takes to have that kind of appeal, or they're lazy, don't want to work on themselves. It's like if I was like, oh, I'm so fat, oh my god, the guy at the bars, so muscular, he's getting all the girls. It's problematic to be muscular. It's terrible. It's right wing. Well, actually, there was something about that, but it's right wing to have muscles and not be a lazy ass and drink soy milk all day. Instead of improving yourself, instead of trying to get better or closer to what you perceive to be attractive to get the type that you want in life, you will be lazy and blame other people for your problems. It's a very liberal thing, though, is to blame others. I mean, even though I'm ostensibly very left-wing in many ways, I still think that that's a very it's a very left-wing thing to do. And I've seen women also, attack this, finding women attractive in general, like different types of women, even who were more traditionally inclined with their attractiveness too. I've seen all sorts of things that are just ridiculous. Now, isn't it so you can't, the whole left-wing thing is like we're innately attracted to things, when we're born that way, Lady Gaga and stuff. I don't believe this, by the way, necessarily. I think it's somewhere in the middle between nature and nurture. Of course, any sane person would believe this, but the whole thing with the left was like, oh, you're born that way, you don't have your preferences are innate in you, but now they're changeable, I guess. They're social constructs, so you can change it anytime. You're supposed to change it to this politically correct thing. You're not supposed to like women with a big chest, or you're not supposed to like white women, or white younger women, or whatever. You're grooming them if you're 2 years older. There's all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm exaggerating, but it seems like people are kind of going that way. So this whole thing about liking, I understand why Sydney Sweeney and Haley Welch do symbolize to some people who see themselves as conservative in the culture war matter, at least, as a paradigm shift back to old norms. I understand why people think that, right? I do understand that because I see it myself. I'm like, oh shit, it's like 2010 again. It's kind of cool, because all this crazy talk, how severe obesity is accepted. Like you have to like every gender, or you're a bigot, or things are excused for no reason. Stupid stuff is excused for no reason. I see this as kind of like not a bulwark against it, but like a shift, a cultural shift. So I do see that. I do see the popularity of these two people being that, but that doesn't mean that I think they should exclude everybody else. Now, the only thing about this is that really scares me, or not the only thing, one of the things that scares me about this is that it seems like they are trying to push an agenda, and where you have to like someone, like the food, it's all this, it's not a conspiracy, it's more a confluence of different interests that are starting to, create this ideological bent that people have, these different interests. You could have the food industry, which has been shown to push the obesity, pro-obesity political movement, or whatever, fat acceptance they call it. And you have, the LGBTQ plus IA plus movement push. You're a bigot if you don't like someone that's not cisgendered. You have, the feminist movement. Feminists are seen as like fat, blue-haired activists that are, just are privileged and spoiled and really entitled, ironically entitled. I thought it was entitled if I thought it was entitled if I think that I should be able to have sex with a woman, right? And that's the funny thing about these people is like, they're kind of flipping the script on that, and they're being entitled. Like, hey, why aren't you attracted to me? My mustache, even though I'm wearing lipstick. Why, it's like, I mean, people have standards, people have preferences. What is the question? Are you gonna like just brainwash everybody to like anybody that exists, any body weight, any look? I mean, that's why I think that's why people are having less sex. Honestly, like supposedly they're having less sex because you're trying to enforce this agenda that you have to like everything. So you like nothing. You end up liking nothing. That's kind of how it works. But yeah, this whole idea that you're a conservative if you like hot women or something, like, or you're conservative if you like these women. It's like really stupid. I like Cindy Sweeney. Haley Welch is kind of, honestly, it's like some of her stuff is kind of cringe. I like the idea that she's out there, pushing this kind of like kind of getting her 15 minutes of fame, she seems like she has some intelligence into making this into like a career, making a lot of money, doing a podcast and stuff. And I think the Haley Welch thing, it's just a meme. It's silly, but I think it's cool that she kind of, capitalized on it, monopolized on it. But I do think it's stupid that people are saying this. And this article is just so ridiculous and so ludicrous. It's like, yeah, oh my God, they're poster pinups for the right-wing movement, and it's like, what do you want? That's the question. What do you ultimately want? You want like those Calvin Klein ads with the fat girl, that came out. It's like, I don't really understand what these people want, what they're trying to push. It seems like when a conspiracy person says they're trying to push this like, depopulation agenda, sometimes it seems like, oh yeah, well, nobody's going to have sex then, So the demographic collapse will happen, so they'll save the world from, certain things, whatever. But yeah, it's absolutely ludicrous to say that it's right-wing to like hot women. It's like, people like hot women, people like certain aesthetics, people have preferences. So wrong to have preferences. It's so wrong to be into certain types of women. It's like, you're right-wing, you're a Nazi, I mean, I am wearing this like weird shirt today that's kind of questionable, but it has Jesus upside down on the cross. Then it has like this death head. This is from the Sex Pistols, Vivienne Westwood, Malcolm McLaren design. I just felt like wearing it. I don't know, because I'm going to be doing laundry pretty soon. I never wear this, so I don't know. Mick Jagger wore this on stage with a similar shirt, by the way, and many others did, especially late 70s. But it's not like making a political statement in this video, but it's kind of ironic, actually. So I decided to keep it on, but I just threw it on. So anyways, I don't believe in this, I don't support this trend of shaming people for liking certain looks or certain, there's like this Onion article, which I'm going to probably put the thumbnail in. It's like, man likes naked, area man has fetish for naked lady. It's like, oh my God, it's so shocking that you like someone like Cindy Sweeney. It's so problematic that you like a hot woman. It's like, it's so dumb, And I know like neither of them have tattoos and stuff, and I'm sure Haley Welch likes spicy food though. She's from the South, so who knows? I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying. But yeah, it's so stupid and it's so ludicrous. It's like, how did our society get so just dumb? Like, yeah, it's dumb to like just have this kind of airheaded kind of appeal of just like by superficiality alone, right? Sometimes it's dumb, but that's just how society operates. It's like anything you do that's normal by like pre-2014 definitions is now seen as right-wing. Like you can, oh my God, I drive a car, I'm a fascist, It's just so stupid. And I figured I'd talk about this because I think it's really dumb to not talk about this, to think this way. It's like anything I do that's normal is going to be seen as right wing. I'm just going to start calling myself alt-right, because even though I'm not voting for Trump, and not voting for Harris either, I'm now seen as some kind of right winger for having sexual preferences, or liking straight women, or not straight women. I've actually, many girls I've dated are bi, or whatever they call it now. They call it pan and stuff too. Some of them have called it. Actually, one woman I used to date now refers to herself as she/they them. So I'm like, oh my god, that's weird, because just the flip is weird. I don't mean that. If she would have been calling herself that like 5-10 years ago, it's a different story. But like all of a sudden she switched to that. It's very strange. So just it's weirdly timed, I should say, because she already knew about all that stuff and was pretty open about her bisexuality and her pansexuality or whatever. So why didn't she call herself that? So it's pretty dumb. I don't care. Or if you don't like announce your pronouns every 5 minutes, you're a fascist. Obviously wearing this shirt, it's kind of ironic. I didn't wear a Burzum shirt in this video, that's for sure. At least it's like a Sex Pistols anarchist, kind of mockery of different symbols that they mix together, But I don't know why I keep talking about my shirt. I just like this shirt because it symbolizes a very cool time in our in music history to me. So anyways, I'm rambling in this video, and I just think I had to say something because I thought it was just so ludicrous, and I just woke up anyways. But anyway, yeah, that's probably why I'm like, oh, I'm struggling, man. But anyways, that's about all.